A political firestorm is brewing between Washington and Caracas. The United States has just doubled its reward for information leading to the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, from $25 million to a jaw-dropping $50 million, branding him as one of the largest narco-traffickers in the world. This is no ordinary diplomatic spat. It's a high-stakes game involving cocaine cartels, rebel militias, international sanctions, and accusations of corruption at the highest levels of power. The question now, is this the moment Maduro's grip on Venezuela begins to crack? The move was announced by U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, a fierce critic of Maduro. She claimed that Maduro has worked hand in glove with some of the world's most dangerous criminal organizations, including Venezuela's own Tren de Aragua, a gang recently labeled a terrorist group by the Trump administration, and Mexico's infamous Sinaloa cartel. According to Bondi, U.S. authorities have seized a staggering 30 tons of cocaine tied to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons directly linked to the Venezuelan leader himself. This comes after years of mounting tensions between the US and Venezuela. Since 2013, when Maduro succeeded Hugo Chavez as president, his government has been accused of corruption, electoral fraud, and violent repression of political opposition. His controversial return to office in January, after an election riddled with allegations of vote rigging, was widely rejected by the international community, including the UK and EU, which slapped sanctions on his regime earlier this year. This isn't the first time Washington has gone after Maduro. During Trump's first term, the US Department of Justice charged him and other top officials with narco-terrorism, claiming they had conspired with Colombia's FARC rebels to use cocaine as a weapon to flood the United States. Those accusations positioned Maduro not just as a corrupt leader, but as an active player in transnational organized crime. There was even an attempt to overthrow Maduro in 2020 by Venezuelan dissidents alongside US mercenaries. Though US didn't confirm any involvement, the latest move to double the bounty feels like an escalation and a public signal that the US is prepared to tighten the screws until Maduro is brought down or at least forced to make a deal. Caracas wasted no time firing back. Venezuelan Foreign Minister Ivan Gil dismissed the reward as pathetic political propaganda, accusing Bondi of using the announcement as a desperate distraction from US scandals, even referencing backlash over the Jeffrey Epstein case. In Maduro's camp, this is just another chapter in what they see as a long-running US effort to destabilize Venezuela and control its politics. Adding fuel to the fire is the case of Hugo Carvajal, Venezuela's former military intelligence chief, once feared and nicknamed El Pollo, the chicken. Carvajal was arrested in Madrid, extradited to the US, and convicted of multiple drug trafficking charges in June. Initially, he denied everything, but later pleaded guilty. A move that sparked speculation he had cut a deal, possibly providing US authorities with incriminating details about Maduro in exchange for leniency. If true, Carvajal's testimony could be the key the US needs to tighten its case against the Venezuelan president. For Venezuela, this bounty is more than just a headline. It's a political earthquake. Maduro's administration is already under intense pressure from sanctions, a collapsing economy, and waves of protests demanding political freedom. A $50 million price tag on the president's head could embolden his enemies both inside and outside the country, creating new risks for his security and legitimacy. For Washington, this is a strategic gamble. If the bounty leads to credible intelligence, it could be the tipping point that weakens Maduro's inner circle. But if it fails, it risks being dismissed, as Caracas is already doing, as empty political theater. The stakes could not be higher. The US has put the world on notice. It's willing to pay big to bring Nicolas Maduro to justice, framing him not as a mere dictator, but as a global narco kingpin. Whether this leads to his downfall or only hardens his resolve remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. The $50 million bounty has thrown gasoline on an already raging fire between Washington and Caracas.